basket. Give me the basket. Hey!
It looks like they've sawed off something there too.
Yeah.
It wasn't going that way, it was going that way.
Not sure. Where's it come from? The whole tree's come down though. There's nothing up there now. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty windy. But it looks like they've started cutting it back. But then like more has fallen, so don't know. Anyway, let's hope the allotment's all right. You all right?
Yep. Ready to go.
Well, we're looking all right at the moment, although it has just started raining. Brilliant. Oh, Lily, see her? Arrived. Ugh. To be fair, it has been pretty like fair all morning. Not like beautiful blue skies or anything, but fair. And I didn't get myself in gear in time to get up here and enjoy it. So now I have the rain. Lily of the lilies, lily of the lilies, lily of the lilies, lily of the lilies. So much stuff on the floor, yeah.
Too.
Ooh!
Nice and dirty. You've got dirty feet on this one. Hey, dirty feet on this one.
Right, chaps, let's have a go with this microphone business. Ooh. Snappy. Okie dokie, we have got a lapel mic here with a little clip on it. Dead snaz. It's two of those actually, so you might be able to hear Mum and I, which would be pretty impressive. Okay, and then this, which I assume goes into the side of the camera. Right, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to see if I can get this working, and you might have wonderful audio clarity in a mo. Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm walking towards the greenhouse. Can you still hear me? I wonder. The green light is flashing. That doesn't bode well. Let's see. Ooh, don't fall over. Come on, little thing, work. Okay, despite the green light flashing, it was a raging success, and I can wander, and you can still hear me. Look, I'm going to go off screen. You can still hear me, can't you? Aha! And I'm going to come back this way, and the volume isn't going to change. It's a miracle. Hey, Lily? Yeah, I know, I'm off camera, and they can still hear me. Lily has got chicken bones. That's why she's round the corner, very excited. Not little chicken bones before anybody fears she's going to choke. They're like the big leg ones. Anyway, yes, exciting times. We are now audio pros. Okay, I'm just going to test this while there is an aeroplane going over the top of us. Can we hear the aeroplane? Do you know what? I don't think we can hear the aeroplane, which would be incredible. I'll have to take this footage home and double check, but when I just played it on the phone, actually this is probably very confusing for you because I'm just like cutting in and out, but like the rest of the time I'm turning you off and like scrolling through the footage to try and see. Obviously the speakers on the actual phone are rubbish, so it's a bit difficult to tell, but I think I think it's a whole new world. 2024, no plane issues for plot 37, which would be a wild, wild step. Anyway, let's get on with what we're actually up here for and what the mic is going to be used for. Doing things up here that are useful. Which is what? What are we doing today, Mum? What have we got on the cards to do today? I've got the bulbs. You're doing what? Weeding. Oh yeah, garlic. So obviously I showed you last week that the checkmate has come up brilliantly. It's looking really strong. It's looking fantastic. And actually I need to go and check in that top bed because we planted some up there too. But the Kingsland White, still nothing. I mean, other than those two little heads. But I'm actually going to like dig around in the pots in the greenhouse and we will go and see if anything is happening under there. Well, oh, it's lovely and warm in here. Still only one in that pot. Yeah, there's nothing else. But I know where they're supposed to be, so I might just haul this over here and have a bit of a dig. I'm trying to remember how deep I planted them now. I think they were pretty deep, weren't they? Can I see anything in there at all? No, I cannot. I'm sure I planted them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I? Might just go and have a look at the one outside. Well, there doesn't appear to be anything under there, and I'm digging, I think, in the right spot. But maybe I planted them like alternately. I'm going to go and check the pot outside to see what pattern I planted them in, because there doesn't seem to be anything under where I expected there to be one. Oh, look. I did do them alternately, not in a row. Let me go back and check that again. So it should be here. Yes, 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 yes. We have life. It's all good. Look at that. There is a little spike under there. I'm fretting for no reason. Just put you all back to bed. Terribly sorry for disturbing you, little chap. I lost faith. Okay, they are in there. They're just being very slow. How strange that two varieties put in on the same day, same time, same compost and everything, have taken such a different amount of time to come up. But yeah, that's good. Now let's go and have a look at the ones in the top bed, the ones that, because obviously these are obviously in the greenhouse, and the ones that are outside the checkmate that are in the pots also started off in the greenhouse, but I had some excess, so I stuck them in that top bed. Because obviously the reason that as you know, the reason that I'm growing them mainly in pots is because we have white rot in the soil, which really does terrible things to the garlic. It's a fungus that just turns it to just nasty mush. So I've been growing them in pots in fresh compost for the last couple of years, had a bit of success with it. But because I had leftover bulbs, I just put them in the bed at the top, and I haven't grown alliums in that bed for so many years. I thought there was a chance that there's no white rot in there. So anyway, let's go and have a look. Dooby-dooby-doo, I'm going to talk to you all the way up the path because you can hear me. Hey Lily, they can hear me down in the can. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Yeah, let's have a look at that garlic, shall we? So there's 3 rows of garlic in this bed in here. There's one about central to the camera there. One there, you can see one at the end. And then this row here, which was the checkmate, again, even though it's outside, up with no problems. Nothing on the Kingsland White. Oh, I take that back. I'm just starting to see, look, there's one, there's one, there's a couple more up there. It's all good. The garlic is all good. I was just fretting for no reason. Fretting for no reason. And the sun's out. The sun's out. Right, what? Oh, goodness me, the peppermint chard is glowing. Looks so beautiful and bright in the sunshine, don't you, peppermint chard of joy? Yes, beautiful plants. Right, jobs we are going to do today. The broad beans that have been hardening off under the Enviromesh box. are going to go into last year's tomato bed. That's one thing we're going to do today. What I have to do is buy some fleece, you know, like rolled white fleece, because we don't have any left. We've just got scraps. That's not really going to be enough. And I think I heard on the weather forecast that we've got some pretty nasty weather heading our way in a couple of weeks' time. Do you remember the beast from the east that came down? Well, it's a similar weather pattern to that. So we're going to be back to like super cold temperatures. And I want to have ample stuff to protect, because I will need to protect these broad beans once they go in. But because they're going to be up against that structure, they'll be quite easy to wrap with like a roll of fleece. So they should be okay. A couple of other things that I'm going to need to protect are the 9-star broccoli, the one that survived the last big dip in temperatures we had. I'm going to protect that in its own little cozy house, because I really don't want to lose that. Yeah, but I think if I get the broad beans out now, they'll be in a position that they'll be easy to protect without any damage to them. So I'm going to get them out. Got a bit more mulching to do, which I'll also get done today. We've got some picking of things that we want to have for lunch. What else were we going to do? Actually, there's so much to do. I was sitting at home thinking like, oh, I've got to go up to the allotment, but I don't know what we're going to do. There's so much to do. There's so much clearing to do. I've got to prune the gooseberries back. I've got to prune the buddleia back. There's just masses of. There's always something to do. Always something to do. But anyway, broad beans is the first thing on my list. Okay.
Which way are you going?
We'll just tip it up into the path, I think. Is it all right there?
They would be really good too.
Yeah, well, I thought I might put the peas, what do you think, under, next to where the small leeks are. So they're under the EnviroMesh box, but permanently for the winter.
You have to dig them in, put them in the ground.
Put them in, yeah, like actually plant them, but plant them in there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they can start getting their roots out, ready for spring. Cool, well, I'll put
Then we
these.
just have to put something up for them to grow up when they get a bit too.
I will put a. Oh, that's actually a good point. Although those leeks are going to be picked super early spring because they're pencil leeks. Or maybe not. I mean, I could just plant them straight into here and have this EnviroMesh box over them. Anyway, I'm doing broad beans now. So next time the next lot that I sow of these, I will sow into root trainers, which is what I would normally sow my beans into. But we didn't this year, and the roots really suffer being pulled back through these little tiny holes. And when you've got the root trainers, you just allow them, because legumes have these really ridiculously long roots, huge, really strong roots. And yeah, the root trainers just give them the bit of space that you can leave them in the pots just slightly longer. And I've got those really snaz new root trainers from Grown Local, which is pretty exciting. Now this one I'm actually going to separate because they are really quite far apart in the pot, whereas the other two that have got two, sorry, let me just crouch. The other two that have got two in, they're like really close together, so it'd just be a nightmare to try and separate them. But I've got one spare cane up that end, so I do want one extra plant, and this is the best candidate for splitting. It also doesn't have a huge amount of root coming through the bottom, so they should come out pretty intact. Let's just see if we can pull these two apart without too much damage. Okay. I should have dug my hole first. Bugger. Now something else I'm doing while I do this is I am tying them in as I go in this very first bit of planting, because excuse my sniffing, I've got a terrible cold and leaning over. It's not great for a runny nose. But yeah, one of the mistakes I make every year with the broad beans is I plant them in, they look really strong, they start flopping, and I don't tie them in soon enough. Because what happens is they've got these incredibly strong plants. What they do is they flop over. Hold on, if I just get this in here I can show you. So, for example, bean flops over, and instead of growing from that point so that you can straighten it back up again, what tends to happen is that they get rid of that point, start growing again from here. So you get these kind of spaghetti plants, which isn't great when you come around to bean picking time, or for protecting them from wind damage, which they're quite susceptible to because they've got those really fleshy stems, and because they're in the ground all over winter, they do actually face quite a lot of wind damage. So just keeping them on a really good, straight, strong stem with something really strong to tie them into. I'm hoping we're going to have some good broad beans this year. In fact, I can show you where one of them's flopped over and had another go producing a new growing tip. I mean, it's very useful because if the tops of the bean plants go, you know, like if a slug takes them off, for example, they do just start again from the bottom or start again from halfway up, which is nice. But it's a bit of a bugger when you're not really on it with the whole tying in thing. As you can see, this one has got itself a nice right angle of its growing tip, and I'm going to try and straighten it without being too harsh and snapping it. Let's try and get that up there. Try and get that one to grow straight again. Oh, I forgot to tie this one in after all that I was talking about. Wonderful. Oh, I forgot that one. Last one. I've actually still got my tomato labels in here. Alice's Dream. What a king tomato that was. Absolutely perfect. That is on the tomato list for this year. It was so good. Not for outdoors though, because this one did nothing because of the blight. That will be in the polytunnel. Right, come on, you little chap. Last one. Just quite awkward, bit of a chin rest. But yeah, I'm quite confident that I will be able to protect these when the really cold weather comes through, because one of the problems that I've had previously with actually protecting the broad beans is with wrapping them in fleece, which is like quite an effective way of keeping the frost off them. But they haven't had a strong enough support system so that if it is cold and windy, without having these in here, the wind catches the fleece obviously and then just destroys the plants inside. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to wrap around this like that. These will hold it still and they'll still be protected inside without just being blown to smithereens. That's the idea. But these are not the last broad beans I will be sowing for the year. I will do some more in spring. And like I said, I've got those ones that are not really doing very much in the greenhouse. They might do something still. Might be like the garlic, just teasing me with not doing anything. Okay, broad beans are in. That's quite exciting. Right there, Lily Maloo. Hi, Lily. Beautiful girl. She's so beautiful. She is so beautiful. She is so beautiful. She is gorge. Absolute gorge. Absolute gorge. Could you give me a hand with the box? Lovely, thank you. So this bed, not last summer, but up until like last spring, we had the dahlias and the tulips in this bed. And you can see, although we tried to get as many of the tulips out, they had produced lots of little tiny tulip bulbs around them, and it's absolutely flooded with them. So we're going to leave them in. And if any of them do flower, because tulips are, renowned for not reflowering, if any of them do reflower, that'll be lovely. And if they don't, never mind. We did move most of the ones that we thought were going to continue flowering like naturalised. We did move out and they're kind of dotted in the other beds where we moved the dahlias to. But we do have some more tulips to get in. We've been going out to that garden centre in Feltham, that really big, like sprawling one that had the Christmas nightmare going on in there at the moment. We picked up some more tulip bulbs from them because they actually had like their species on them. So you can kind of tell which ones are more likely to naturalise and come up year on year, as opposed to just like 1 year planting tulips. And so we've got quite a few to plant, and we don't know, we're going to split them between the home garden and up here, get some in under the fruit trees and stuff. But I got some specifically to go under the apple trees at the end, where we have that little sort of, Mum calls it the white garden. I call it the woodland garden. Really, it's just about a square metre of dry soil. But we've got quite a few little bits and pieces in there now, and the hellebores are about to flower down there, and we've got beautiful cannaliculatas coming up, which I'm hoping are going to flower this year. We've got, what else have we got in there? Alliums, white ones, little tiny ones. We have got, can't even remember what else we put in there. There's some white cyclamen, and I've got some, they're not white, but they are like white with a little bit of a red streak up them, tulips to go in there, and they're little dwarf ones because it's quite a low garden. Whereas the ones that we've bought to go in the pots and kind of up here are like big tall ones that we can use for cut. These are very much sort of woodland tulips. Anyway, I think I'm going to get them in now. Hey girlies, get them in now. Yes. I know you like that little woodland garland, don't you girls? You do. You like the woodland garland. Yes, Rube. A sausage. And a Flo, also a sausage. Gorgeous loves. Gorgeous loves. Girly, girly, girlies. That is these little chaps here. So these are Kaufmannia. The first, which is quite sweet. You can see they're little tiny tulips. But that is the garden. Oh, it's bright. Sorry about the sun streaks. But in here is where they're going to go. Currently, it's a bit covered in leaves, but because it's a woodland garland, that's just going to sort of help them out. Hey, girlies, isn't it? Yes, it is. So the hellebore just there. Oh, so beautiful. I absolutely love hellebores. We're getting quite a good collection of them in here now. Quite a few different types. And these here, these are probably up there as, are they my favourite? They're quite close to my favourite spring bulbs. They are called Arctic Bells. They are the prettiest little, like really pale yellow cup daffodils. They don't look like classic daffodils. They've got they're just stunning. They are stunning, and I'm so looking forward to them coming out. I'm going to get these bulbs in there now too. I'm going to put them slightly further to the back, because I've kind of, you know what it's like with these things, you pack things all at the front, or I do anyway. But I've got quite a lot of space growing at the back there. You are there, Lil? You're pretty girly. You're pretty girly. Yeah. Nice bit of sunshine for the girly. Yeah, I'm going to put these bulbs in here. So I'm just looking in here, and I can see we've actually got, I've remembered all the little things we've got in here now. We've got some gorgeous white hyacinths that come up every year that are joy, just sort of coming up there. These are the cyclamen, looking beautiful. Right, let's get some of these in. I mean, like a lot of tulips, they've got a really, supposedly you've got to put them in really deep, which is what I'm going to do because I've made that mistake before. And because these are going to be hopefully naturalised ones, they're going to be in there a while. How many do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Nice. Let's go on this corner. There we go. Tulips are in, my whirly gigs. They are. Yes. Lovely. Something I have just noticed, I was just up there looking at the gooseberries that I've got to prune back, and I hate pruning the gooseberries because it's just like getting yourself shredded. But I've noticed that the top of the fruit cage is, well, it's all held together by like plates on the wood with screws, and then cable tied to the wire mesh frame that we've actually got. And a couple of those have snapped, I think, in this wind that we've just had. So I'm just going to go and repair that before it gets any worse. Boy, is it bright. Whew. I'm going to go do that. Actually, I need some steps. Thought the damage was worse than that actually, but it was only that corner and that edge inside, so put these back. I know cable ties are not the greatest thing in the world, but for a job like that, my goodness, and they do last years, and I do make sure that I don't just drop them on the ground. They do come home with me and get disposed of properly. I think, chaps, actually, no, there's one other thing that I need to do before I go, which is, you know where I cleared the asparagus bed? It was like a month ago. I still haven't laid the mulch on the newer asparagus bed. I just dumped the bags on there, so I'm going to just split them open, lay that across. Oh, in this general theme of exciting technology, the mic, I've actually brought the wildlife cam back up with us today because we've just had rain for weeks, and I don't want to leave it out in the rain because like no animals are going to really come out in the rain and have a lovely evening, are they? So also, like, it's just not great for the camera, even though it's waterproof. It's not, you know, it's water resistant rather than like I wouldn't want to throw it in the bath with me. So I'm going to set it up at this end of the plot, so the opposite end that it's been at so far, so it doesn't just keep catching the girls. Because I mean, they're lovely, they're beautiful, aren't you, girlies? Yes, sorry, I know, I love footage of you. It seems like a bit of a waste. I was looking for something a little more exotic. I'm going to, which way? Oh, this is difficult to do in reverse. There. I can't do it. The bay tree that's up there, I'm going to position it so that it's looking down the plot from the other end, and we'll see if we catch anything tonight. Mulch, camera, and then we're off. Hot, girlies. It's hot. Oh, actually, I can't do that. The microphone will come off. Whew. Be a bit more careful with your jacket, Jessie. What am I looking for? Camera. Right. Let's go and attach this thing to the bay tree. Hey, chicken. What are you doing out, little sausage? Was it just too tempting when I was doing those tulips? I reckon it probably was, girlie. Yeah. Yes. Yep, we're ready to go?
I am. I'll lock up.
Good, good, good. See you later, whirly gigs. See you later, girly whirly whirlies. See you later. Yeah. Back through the wilderness. Oh, somebody's chopped loads of it back. Look, it's much clearer now. We're also pretty chuffed. Just as we were leaving then, the garage called, so they picked up, oh God, don't talk and poke your eyes out. The garage called and a Cairo, that's our car, it is ready to be picked up. So she is all fixed. Mum is going to go and pick her up this afternoon. So we shall be complete with car again. Very exciting. Yeah, so anyway, we're on our way home, that's all I was going to say. And I will see you tomorrow. I tell you what, I had so much to add into this video this week. We've just run out of time. One of the major things was what you can sow in January. It's like fairly crucial, and it's fairly crucial it comes out like right at the start of January. So I think what I'm going to have to do is put an extra video out this week. I mean, I was planning to do this series anyway, like I did not last year but the year before, of each month what you can sow and what I'm sowing. But I was planning to include them in the vlog, and this has not worked out this week. Talking of extra videos coming out this week, we had the normal Potty Mouth Garden Club on Monday the 1st, which I thought was the chilli special. So I sowed my chilies in that. But it turned out that chilli special was happening on Wednesday. So I then was in the chilli special as well, having already sown my chilies on the Monday. Very confusing. Both shows will be linked underneath here. The official chili special is very much just the four of us having a chat about chilies, really, and which ones we're growing and all that kind of thing. And on the Monday was me actually sowing them. Yeah, I didn't actually understand the mission there, but still, the chilies are in. However, what I haven't got yet is set up my grow lights and heat station. I've got to get the shower finished before I can get a lot of the stuff out of this room back into the bathroom, because this has become the storage area. They're still sat in the dry compost. I haven't watered them yet because I can't give them any heat. So they're just sat there like in stasis, in dry stasis, waiting for me to get the stuff out of the bathroom. Anyway, I have news on the shower. So yeah, all I have to do now is paint and seal the bath and do all that kind of stuff. But that is not as major works as actually getting the shower kind of waterproofed and reinstalled. So yeah, we've made some serious progress on that front. But yeah, so my chilies are going to actually be probably a week later than when I was hoping they were going to be. But I think it will be absolutely fine. You've got easily up until the end of January to get an early start on the chilies. And then if you don't have the heat and the grow lights and all of that kind of thing, you just have to start later anyway. So there's no loss. There is no loss. It's just my organisational skills are lacking once again. But yeah, like I was saying at the beginning of that, it is the what to sow in January and what I'm sowing in January video, which is going to have to come out as an extra because I just can't fit it in, and we don't want an hour and a half vlog. Firstly, because it would take probably a week to upload to YouTube, and secondly, just because but just do a separate one. A couple of other things I didn't get to fit into this vlog. We went to the Christmas village in like up around Leicester Square area, and they always do really nice like mulled wine or mulled cider or whatever. And so I just thought before the Christmas period ends, we have to go and at least have a mulled cider and look at some sparkly lights, even if it is January. I had filmed it as a little bit more of a kind of let's go up to town thing, but we just don't have time for that. So you've just got the highlights of me having some mulled cider. And the other thing that I did this week, which was fantastic, was I went full tourist mode in London and went to the London Aquarium, which is now called SeaWorld or Sea Life or something like that. But anyway, it used to be called the London Aquarium. And I haven't been there, I don't think, since, must have been like a primary school trip. So a long time ago. And it was really fantastic. Particularly, I absolutely love jellyfish, and particularly the jellyfish were amazing. So I did some filming in there, and there's no space to put it on here. So I'm going to start next week's vlog with fish. Not garden related, but beautiful. Nice bit of music, look at some fish. You're in for a treat. So that's going to be the start of next week's vlog. What I also didn't have time to do was the results of the trail cam, which were not exciting, I can tell you. We had rats and magpies, but the scope, so like where I put it, I think is going to work really, really well. Those top like 3 beds that it covers up there, it also covers the pond where we obviously, I'm assuming we get things drinking from there. I think I found like the right spot to put it. We just need some more exciting visitors, but we had all of that wind, we had the storm, we had the tree coming down in the path. It wasn't a great set of evenings for the animals to be out and about. So next week, I hope we're going to have some actual like proper footage from that, which is really exciting. I was talking to my neighbour when I was setting it up. My neighbour, like a couple of plots up from me, came past and he was talking about, we were just chatting about like where the badgers walk and everything, and I do think they're coming down that top end of the plot, so we should, if any badgers visit, we should catch it. So that's quite exciting. And I've had a couple of people ask me as well, like what I think of the trail cam. And obviously I haven't used it extensively yet. It's been out for about, I think 4 nights, maybe 5 nights, and we haven't caught a great deal on it. But that is 5 nights of battery power, and it still says full battery. So I'm well impressed with that. I'll put the link to the exact one that I've got underneath here, because so far I'm really impressed with it, apart from the fact that the animals are not playing the game. But the camera's doing really well. So yeah, I'm pleased. I think I went for the right camera. Like there was quite a lot of choices, and yeah, I just went. In the end, you just do all this research, and in the end, it's just like, oh, I'm just going to buy one, see what happens. And I think I made a good choice. So link for that underneath. And other things that were mentioned in this vlog, I'm going to try and get a bit better about this, because I tend to, at the end of the vlog, in the comments underneath, I get loads of like, oh, what was that you mentioned, and what was that you mentioned, and what was that you mentioned, and I've never kind of like expanded on it. So the root trainers that I was talking about for growing legumes, like the beans and the peas, the ones that have the really, really strong root that you want to protect. So when I was planting out the broad beans and I'm kind of pulling them through that holes, and all the like the little rootlets on the outside are all being stripped off and everything. So root trainers are elongated pots. Now the classic ones are very, very thin plastic. You've seen me use them before. They sort of hinge open at the bottom, but they're very, very flimsy. And although we've kept ours going for about, we must have had them maybe 5-6 years now, the set that we've got, they are ripped to shreds, and you have to be so delicate with them to keep them intact. Like lots of people find they buy them and they only survive like 1 season, which is pants. However, there is a new generation of root trainer, and Ian at Grown Local is selling them. So I'll put the link underneath, but they look like this, like they're proper substantial. This is solid plastic, and the internal sections where you sow, hang on, if I move this into screen, that might be more useful so you can see. So they're like this, the plastic's really, really solid, and each one comes out like this. Now you can see how long each one of those are. So you fill them with soil like you would normally in a seed tray. But when you go to take your plants out, the whole thing separates like that. So you end up not destroying any of those really, really important strong roots that they've managed to grow while you've been looking after them in the greenhouse. These ones, proper solid. They clip all the way along. I'm well impressed with them. This will be the first year that I've used these ones. But I'm incredibly optimistic. So the link for these, if you fancy giving these a go, also will be underneath. And the other thing, which I mentioned at the beginning of the vlog, is the fleece. Now, I've just been looking at the weather forecast, and actually I thought it wasn't going to get cold until next week. Tonight's going to be 0, and from that point on round here, it's going to be -1, -2 for 2 weeks, or that's as far as my weather forecast shows me. For 2 weeks, it sort of doesn't get above 1 degree at night, not in the daytime, but at night. And so I actually remembered the day I planted those out, I came home and ordered myself some more fleece. I'll put a link to this underneath. It's very, very thin, just like white, slightly fluffy mesh, but what it stops happening is it stops the dew settling on the plants and then that freezing, and then that's what does the damage. So it just keeps that off them. So this is incredibly useful stuff. So this is going to go on the broad beans this evening and also on the 9-star broccoli, because I really don't want to lose that again this year. That one that survived, I'm going to look after it. So that is what I'm going to be doing when I stop chatting to you. And then I am going to go down to the pub. It's not raining. It's really quite a clear evening. Well, that's why it's getting so cold, is that there's no cloud cover this evening. So I'm going to go and fleece my broad beans and my 9-star broccoli, and then I'm going to walk down into Richmond and have a pint by the river. That's my plan, and I will do you a cheers down there. And then I better get on with recording the What to Sow in January video. There's also another potty mouth coming out on Monday, which this is coming out on Tuesday, so it will already be out. Maybe I'll put the link in here. Or no, actually, I'll tell you what I've been doing is, you know, community posts on YouTube, which are just like the text posts rather than actually an uploaded video. I've been putting the links to that, so keep an eye out. It will come up on there. It will come up on there. I'll also stick it on Instagram. But that, chaps, I think is us done for the week. I will see you again before next vlog, both on potty mouth and on this other seed sowing video. It's going to be a busy week, this one. Whew. Starting January off with a burst. All right, I'm off. I'm going to go and do some fleecing.